Hello everyone, welcome to another arts and crafts video. For this video we're going to be making another simple little book together. This time we're going to learn how to make a hand-stitched pamphlet. And what you're going to need is some paper. For this book I used construction paper, and on the inside is a few sheets of copy paper. You're also going to need a needle and a thread. The needle that you use doesn't have to be sharp. This one I'm using is a denim needle and it's very dull. The thread that you use, I'm using just regular cotton thread, but you can use embroidery floss. You need a pencil, a ruler, some scissors, and the last thing that you'll need is some thumbtacks, or just one thumbtack is enough. This is how I keep my thumbtacks when I'm not using them. I just stick them in my eraser to make sure that they don't roll around or get lost and I won't accidentally poke myself. I highly recommend that you do this with your parents or any adult, so they can help you out if you need help punching the holes with the thumbtack, or if you need help threading the needle or sewing the book together, they can help you with that. Let's get started. Okay, so here are all my materials. This is how I have my sharp objects set up. I have my push pins and my needle stuck into my eraser to make sure that they don't get lost and no one gets poked. The first step that we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold all our pages, including the cover. So I'm gonna do that right now, and I'm probably gonna fast forward because it's gonna take a little bit of time. Okay, so I finished folding my pages. I started stacking them on top of each other as I was folding them, so I'm gonna neatly bunch them together and put the cover over it, and it's already starting to look like a pamphlet. Now all we have to do is actually bind them together with the needle and thread. Alright, so the next step is a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna try and make it as painless as possible, because it's gonna take some measuring. Using your ruler, we're gonna make the little dots along our spine to guide us where to actually sew the book together. If you're using copy paper like me, the middle is going to be 4.25 inches. Now that's going to be our guide, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 more dots above it and 2 more dots below it, so there's 5 dots altogether on the middle. So taking your ruler, just measure 1.5 below and then 1.5 above. So your paper should look like this right now. This is 1.5 and this is 1.5 and this is 4.25. And now we're gonna add another 1.5 down here and another 1.5 up here. So let's do that right now. So this is what it should look like in the end. So now we have 5 little dots. Okay, so now that we have our holes in the spine as a guide, we just gotta punch the holes in. So you take your thumbtack and be very, very careful. Make sure the way that you're holding it, you won't poke yourself. Hold it like this, I guess, where your fingers aren't near the middle, because that's where the hole is gonna go through. You can always ask your parents or an adult to help you with this part, but we're just gonna be using the thumbtack to punch the holes that we just made. into the middle of the paper. So the reason why I put 3 thumbtacks here just like this is because I notice when I'm moving the paper around and when I start sewing, the holes get misaligned. So I just like to keep 1 or 2, but here I'm using 3 thumbtacks in, so when I'm sewing the holes don't get mixed up. Alright, so I made my holes, I have my thumbtacks holding everything together. The last step is to actually take your needle and thread the pages together. If you need help threading it, you can ask your parents to help you. But yeah, just thread the needle, and the amount of thread that we're gonna need, a good rule of thumb to use is just do 3 times the size, which means just spread the thread like this and then go like that to make it 3 times. Alright, so I think I actually might have cut too much thread, but that's alright. It's better to have too much than too little, but if you did cut too little, you can just start over again. It's alright. I'm moving my thumbtack to the second hole because we're gonna start on the inside of the middle one. So put your needle through the inside. But we're only gonna pull through, we're gonna leave a little bit of the thread, like maybe that much. I have so much thread, but leave maybe like that much hanging out from the inside. And then we're gonna thread it through the next hole right here, the 4th hole. Pull it reasonably tight, but try to make sure that you're leaving this part, because in the end we're gonna tie it with this extra string that we're leaving behind. And then the next step, take the thumbtack, we don't need it, put it back in its place wherever that is, to make sure that it doesn't get lost, no one accidentally gets poked with it. And we're gonna take the needle and thread it through the last hole, and then go back through the 4th hole so that your needle is on the inside of the book again. While you're sewing this, just give a little tug to make sure that the thread is hugging, that the thread isn't too loose. And now we're not gonna go through the 3rd one or the middle hole, we're gonna go to the 2nd one. So I'm gonna take off my thumbtack and I'm gonna put the needle through the 2nd hole so that we're on the outside of the book again. And from the outside, we're gonna go into the 1st hole, back into the inside. Oops, that was a big no. I forgot to put my thumbtack away. So we're threading it through the 1st hole, making sure it's reasonably tight, it's not hanging. And then we're gonna go from the 1st hole to the 2nd hole again, so that we're outside of the book. And then we're gonna go into the middle. So you should have a long line on the outside and in the inside too. And now we have these 2 pieces of string that we can tie together. I'm tying a couple of knots to make it a little fat, just to make sure that it doesn't go through the hole. And then you cut. And there you go. Your book's all done. If you want something a little more sturdier than just using construction paper for your cover, you can use a cereal box or another snack box with cardboard that's thin. I wouldn't recommend regular cardboard because that's too thick. You want something that you can poke your thumbtack through pretty easily. Like always, I hope you guys are inspired by this video. I hope you guys go on to make something really cool. If you're proud of what you make, you can share it with us through email or on our Facebook. We always love to see what you guys come up with. That's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.